Good morning, everyone. I will be talking about the brief history of born again Christianity here in our country. So, born again Christian movement entered the Philippines dynamically after World War II. So, it became open to new religions influences, particularly from the United States. So, the American evangelical and Pentecostal missionaries introduced the teachings that centered on repentance, salvation, and experience of being born again. So imagine those times after World War II, after the conflict, um people or every religion tried to boost the morale of the people. So, in the same way, the Americans introduced this religion to the Philippines and it spread rapidly. So, one of the earliest churches were the Assemblies of God, the Foursquare, and the Church of Nazarene. So, they began to establish local congregations across the country during the 1960s, 1970s, 80s. So, if you imagine, we had the EDSA revolution, there were political unrest, and here in Mindanao, we had lots of armed conflicts and uh, those were the key factors that helped spread the religion. So as I remember when I was still in elementary, before the phones, before cell phones, yeah, I had an experience before the cell phones, before the internet. So the born again Christian community had its own way of celebrating the religion by giving people new chances. Like there are followers who were once rebels, followers who were once drug addicts. So they became it became an open doors to them to find a new life. So I think this is something that helped the religion spread among its followers. So there were challenges from the early 2000s to to the 2025. We had this a transition from the traditional way of expressing our religion to a technological one. So there was a struggle with the help of the pandemic. I think every religion was able to see the advantage and the opportunity of using technology to spread the good news to everyone. So right now we see lots of born again Christian groups that broadcast their practices or their events online. So you guys can check it out, and then that would be further discussed a little bit later.
So the third one is the head of the church. So born again Christians do not have a single global leader, but instead, each church or ministry is led by pastors and elders. And according to Colossians 1 verse 18, Jesus Christ is considered as the sole head of the church. He is also considered as the universal head of every church, including evangelical, Baptist, Pentecostal, and non-dominal churches believe in single ultimate head entire church, which is Jesus Christ himself. So second is the local leadership structure. Since born again Christian is a description of personal faith experience rather than specific denomination, there is no single human leader like Pope or Patriarch for the entire group. So the last part is the major practices of the church. These practices is observed by born-again and related evangelical congregation are highly focused on personal experience, spiritual growth, and outreach. These activities is defined to identify their discipline. So first is praise and worship. Church service are often energetic and joyful, using loud music, singing, and applause, and also lifting their hands in the air as show respect and devotion to God. So, like for example, during our church service, like before mag-start ang sermon sa pastors, we usually have worship bands for like 30 minutes before we start the main activity or the main reading of the Bible. So, next is Bible studies and small group fellowships. They frequently meet together not just on Sundays to read and discuss the Bible. So, these smaller group gatherings is designed to help people understand their faith better and grow spiritually. So for us, our church conduct this small Bible study or small group fellowships every Friday. So all of our members within that church is divided by groups. And within that group, we gathered on a specific area where we will have an activity where we share our thoughts and give our own life testimonies to others. With that, it helps every member build a strong relationship to each other, and it will also help us strengthen our faith to God. So next is the water baptism. When someone decides to follow the faith, they are baptized. So this act is a public show to others that they have fully accepted the beliefs and started a new life with Christ. So, like for example, our church conduct their water baptism usually at beaches. The pastor soak our head into the water, which signifies the starting of a new life as a Christian. So lastly is the strong culture of evangelism and outreach to spread the gospel. So they usually work to tell other people about their faith and message of Jesus. This can involve direct sharing, community service, or organizing events to outreach the non-believers. So by this, the church members will conduct an event where like go sila play to different places to conduct Bible studies and like to encourage people and tell the words of the Lord and how Jesus sacrificed himself for us to save us from our sin. So that's all.